reason why it's now possible to automate accident and injury analyses is because we can layer language on top of physics. So we actually had the capability of utilizing vision models and quantifying damage from car accidents actually in the past. And we obviously had the capability of doing physics calculations in the past to evaluate how a human moves and the force imparted upon their body and things of that nature. But now what we can do is actually contextualize it. So we can layer language on top of those deterministic calculations to actually explain it to people. What I would tell an attorney who is skeptical about using AI is that you should absolutely be skeptical. Obviously, a lot of AI out there is slop, right? The term AI slop is present for a reason. There's also somewhat of a confirmation bias, right? You ask ChatGPT, you ask Claude a certain thing, and they'll kind of tell you what you want to hear sometimes. And that's kind of really where silent witness differs. We are inherently objective. So we are simply objectively quantifying the damage that is present on a car to understand the change in speed, the angle, the timing, things of that nature. And then we're utilizing deterministic physics-based calculations that are steeped in peer-reviewed research to determine how a human moves, the force imparted upon their body, and their expectation of injury. It is mathematical by nature. It is not necessarily language. What we do after that is now once we have those numbers and we have an understanding of that, then we can layer language on top of it so it doesn't really have a place to go, so to speak. It's not just going to confirm your inherent bias. It's simply going to tell you, hey, this is bigger than this, we would expect injury. This is smaller than this, we would not expect it. The way an attorney should use silent witness is that they should use it right when a case comes through the door, right? You don't want to spend your time building up a case if there's no scientific credence for it, there's no scientific credibility behind the case. And conversely, you may have questions about your case and we can actually surface the answers to those questions. Is this consistent with an injury? Is it consistent with a spine injury or a brain injury? What factors make it consistent or inconsistent? Is the plaintiff or the defendant saying the truth when it comes to actually how the vehicles came into contact with one another? Or does the damage tell us otherwise? And we can surface all of those things. So you don't want to necessarily spend the time, the resources, the manpower, the woman power to build a case before you actually know about the science of the case. What it means to bring science to every case as opposed to just the 1% essentially means that if we look at the United States as a whole, there's about 6 million car accidents and 2 million injury claims a year. And there's about less than 1% of those cases that actually brings on scientific expert witnesses to actually evaluate the case scientifically. So a lot of the cases are obviously not driven based upon the sheer scientific facts of the case. And obviously a lot of that is attributed to the fact that there's so few experts. And another fact is that experts are egregiously expensive, right? So what we aim to do is we bring expert level intelligence to every case. We make it so affordable that it essentially doesn't make sense not to utilize it, right? To put this into perspective, we can completely analyze a case from A to Z, from the speed, the liabilities, and injuries, less than it would take for you to speak to an expert on the phone for a half an hour, right? So what we are doing is we're effectively democratizing expert level intelligence in order to bring it to every single case. So our bigger vision for science in the legal system is exactly that. We actually want to bring science to cases earlier on in the case life cycle. So one of the questions that we often get is, in the event that this given case goes to trial, can you provide an expert witness? And that's actually not fundamentally what we're doing. We're not competing with expert witnesses. Rather, we're bringing expert level intelligence much earlier on in the case life cycle in order to build up the case properly and for the case to be scientifically reasonably sound. And also to surface issues. You can't build up a case properly if there's no scientific backing for it. If the science says that some person is at fault, and they were speeding and they caused the accident, what's the purpose of working up that case on the personal injury side, right? Conversely, if the science says that unequivocally that this person sustained an injury, why would the defense deny that? We want to bring expert level intelligence earlier on in the case so that cases are not just driven by narratives, but they're also driven by the scientific facts.